Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Lights, Camera, Rant video game review, where we'll be looking at Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, which is now available on both PlayStation and Xbox. And I must say, I've been excited for this game ever since it got first announced at the beginning of this year. We've been tidbits all through the year, and then finally, it is here. Now, this game is developed by LL Phonic or II Phonic. I'm not too sure which one which is the same developers for both Predator Hunting Grounds and the Friday the 13th game and Evolve. So, if you already know these games, you know exactly what type of game this is going to be. If you don't, then let me fill you in. So, obviously, you play as 4 Ghostbusters against 1 ghost. And obviously, you got to try and beat the ghost, or the ghost is going to try and beat you in a particular time frame. Essentially, just like those, you got to get the killer, and the killer's got to get you either way. So there's other games out there like Dead by Daylight, and most recently was Evil Dead. And there's another one which is a high school game, but I can't think of the name of it. Same kind of concept. So I know this people do feel like this has been done to death. However, in the Ghostbusters setting, when I first saw that this was going to be developed by them and this is what they were doing, I was a little bit nervous but excited at the same time. It feels ages since we had a Ghostbusters game, which the last Ghostbusters game that was good was in 2009 called Ghostbusters the Video Game, which was essentially Ghostbusters 3. All the Ghostbusters returned. They even had plot points from the proposed Ghostbusters 3 that were going to make back in the day. And it was going to be in their prime. So it's the best thing where we ever got was going to be Ghostbusters 3 before we got Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was a great game, and currently right now it is on the PlayStation Xbox store. You can get the remastered version. Then we did get another Ghostbusters game in 2016, which was based on the female Ghostbusters movie. And as you would have guessed, that was an absolute shit show. It was shit and so bad that the developer who made the game released it. And 3 days later, they went bankrupt, about $12 million in debt. I was like, well, that's what happens when you try and make a video game on a bad movie. And there's a whole plot point you can go into that. All tangent, but I won't for this particular episode. So let's get into the story. So you are basically joining the Ghostbusters team, and this is a sequel. The story sets up right after Ghostbusters Afterlife, where they've just taken over the firehouse, and you meet Ernie Winston. He has returned, as well as you get Dan Aykroyd, who's returned, and you meet the new team members of the Ghostbusters, and you basically are re-establishing the Ghostbusters in New York City. Now, thank God, there's actually a story to this game, which you do play. Obviously, as you keep going out, keep busting ghosts, the story progresses. Obviously, as you're catching ghosts, things get out of hand. And as you can imagine, you're going to have to stop it. Someone gets possessed. Spoilers, it's going to be whoever you think it's going to be. It's going to be one of the main characters. I'll tell you that now. But as you keep going through each of the maps and busting ghosts, the story progresses, which is fantastic. I love that. And before you ask the question, compared to these other games, yes, if you play by yourself, single player, not online, there are AI ghosts and AI Ghostbusters. So if you're not an online person or you've got a shit internet, you are perfectly fine. I remember when Friday the 13th game first came out, it had to be online. There was no other way. Same with Evolve. And it got panned and it was shit because of it. So I thank God the developer has learned from that lesson and they brought this out straight away. So it doesn't matter if you don't go online, you're perfectly fine. And as you keep going, as I mentioned, the story does progress. Gameplay, I can't stress enough, you feel like a Ghostbuster. Your username goes on to your uniform. You can customize your uniform. There's customizability, and then you get your proton pack. You start, you go into the map, and you can tether. You can lay a trap, try and catch a ghost. You've also got to keep the civilians calm. So your character's like, no, don't worry, I see this all the time. Remain calm. And that actually adds to points in the game. So you have to keep that in mind. And also in the gameplay, you don't make too much damage because you rack up a price that's actually a negative once you finish the game. And also, if you've ever played, was it Alien Colonel Marines, you basically get the good old radar, and you have to track the ghost, which is really good. Obviously, you can hear civilians making noise and screaming, but you got to track the ghost, which is really cool. It's kind of eerie too, because obviously when you're playing with the AI, everyone completely spreads out, and then you just searching around trying to find this ghost before it attacks you, before you get slimed, and also there's like mini ghost babies that also attack you. But gameplay wise, it is a lot of fun. I found myself, because I grew up on Ghostbusters, and it's, you always have this small dream of being a Ghostbuster, and you feel like it in this game. And I think they've conveyed that and captured that so good. And obviously other Ghostbusters talk to you, where the Ghostbuster is. You also get this trolley where you can get like extra new tools for the modern day. So like, grenades, extra tools, just so you can try and catch a ghost. There's customized options for your proton pack, your ghost catcher, all across. So there's all that fantastic detail that they've put into the game, which is great. And obviously, when you try and catch a ghost, you got to tether up, and you got to try and make sure to get into the trap. And then after the game, you actually do have to take your trap downstairs and put it into the giant vault, which I thought was a nice little touch. So I found it playing around. I found the gameplay pretty fun all across. However, I must say, as a negative, there's only 4 maps. And after you've done the 4 maps like 3 or 4 times, you get a little bit bored. Now, there is a lot of room for improvement in the game. However, just keep that in mind. There is only 4 maps, so it's going to get a little bit repetitive, and exactly. And I'm pretty sure you can also tell exactly where they don't always, ghosts don't always appear in different locations of the map. They pretty much center around the same area each time. Now, playing Ghostbuster is really easy, but playing Ghost is a little bit hard. Well, I found the controls a little bit hard. I haven't won a game playing a Ghost. Find it a bit tricky, so people might find that grind a little bit hard. Also, another thing that they do good is you can't play a Ghost straight away. You do have to play as a Ghostbuster until you reach a certain level, which I think is a good idea for you to get used to the game before they just throw you into playing a Ghost. So, me personally, I found playing a Ghostbuster easier. You never know, other people might find playing a Ghost easier and more fun playing the bad guy. Now, there are multiple Ghosts that you can play as with different abilities. They also have to be unlocked. So this game is a lot about obviously getting to a certain level to unlock the next thing. So there is re-game playability. However, there's only four maps, which makes it just that little bit repetitive. Now, graphics-wise, obviously it's on Unreal Engine 4, so it's a little bit cartoonish, but I found everything very clean, very neat. I haven't experienced one glitch in the entire game, but I found for obviously the Ghostbusters universe, I think it does suit. I don't think it needs to be ultra realism just because of the ghosts, everything. I think I like it. It's in this cartoonish kind of style, so I found the graphics really good. And yeah, that didn't bother me at all. But overall, I must say, being a Ghostbusters is fantastic. I'm glad there's a story. I'm glad you don't have to be online to play this. I'm glad that everyone talks to you. No glitches. And the fact that you can customize your character as much as you want. There's a ton of upgrades that you can do. That's all great. So above all else, the best positive thing I can say about this game is that you feel like a Ghostbuster and busting feels good. Yes, shoot me. I had to put that into this review. But the negative on the side is that if you're not fully dedicated to being a Ghostbuster, the playing Ghost is a little bit hard. There's not enough maps, so you could technically, if you grind this, the game will be done in a week, and you'll be already waiting for DLC, waiting for that clock to tick over your orbit. So that's another thing that even I found myself. I'm like, I've already done the maps already 5 times each. I'm kind of ready for a new map now, and I haven't progressed enough to get some more. But I do wish they had. I do wish at launch they at least had like 8 maps. That would have been fun. And I found sometimes the dialogue didn't match the mouth when they were talking. I was like, oh, that's not good. Only a couple times. So what I mean by glitch is probably dialogue glitch, but gameplay, actually just playing the game, none at all. But that was a negative. So at the end of this day, at the end of this review, if you like Ghostbusters, if you like being Ghostbuster and you like that type of gameplay, like those previous games I mentioned, you will love this. However, if you don't like that type of game, you don't like going online, then you might not like this, and you will most likely get sick of this game very quickly because it's very repetitive. It's very repetitive. And until there's new DLC, yeah, there might not be much for you to come back to, and you might get a little bit annoyed. That's the tricky thing. But overall, that's up to you. But please, guys, tell me, have you picked up this game? Have you enjoyed it? Have you tried different levels? What do you think playing a ghost? Will you pick up this game, or have you already returned it? Please let me know in the comments. Please let me know. DM me, and as you will know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And look, guys, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.